Hey everyone, welcome to Princess of Gay. I'm your host Connie, and I have fucking fabulous hair right now. My hair is like freshly washed and everything, so it's like it gets pretty poofy and everything, pretty like I guess voluminous. It has volume. When it's more freshly washed, which you usually don't see on camera. You usually don't get to see that. Because a lot of the times I take showers at night. And usually I'm recording in the morning, so I've slept on the hair and everything. But today we have a surprise reaction for you guys because I got some free time. My dad went bowling, so I have a time to record a little bit here. And so I've chosen to go with Bocchi the Rock. I want to check out episode 2. I want to see more of this to again, kind of get a good feeling of it. Because episode 1 was just kind of introductory. It didn't really give me a really good feeling for what this anime is going to be like. We met our main character. I'm just going to call her Bocchi for right now because that was the nickname she was given. And I don't remember her actual name at the moment. Yeah. She is a socially anxious, super shy girl who is in the start of her high school time, her high school career, whatever you want to call it. And while she spent a couple years getting really good at playing guitar, she's never made friends. She's never had the opportunity to not just like play with a band, but just have friends or connections in general because of her chronic shyness. She's also kind of a weirdo on top of that and overreacts to pretty much everything from what we've seen. She ends up getting invited to join this band for a gig, and yeah, it goes about as well as you would think, but they kind of just accept her in, sort of. It's a comedy series, but at least in my opinion, there wasn't a lot of like really notable comedy in the first episode. I had watched the episode again since my recording because I watched it with reaction, and I'm watching again, and it's like still nothing is really that funny to me. The only thing that was really that funny, like that really stood out as humorous, was the fake ending. But everything else, it's like I didn't get the humor in as much. Hopefully that starts to change as we continue on. As of now, I don't really have any strong feelings on any characters. They're just kind of there. The music is okay, I guess. The voice acting's okay. I have no issues with those. But the story and the characters are kind of, as I've made apparent in previous videos, kind of just what I look for in a series. And obviously it's subjective as to what qualifies a good story or characters. It's completely subjective. And in my opinion, based on the first episode, it just hasn't really done anything yet. Like that's why I've said I have to see more. So we're going to continue giving this a chance. I think this is like 12, 13 episodes long. So hopefully I end up enjoying it because it's not a long watch or anything. It's not like something that I really feel like I have to be super invested in. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm willing to give it a chance just like with anything. And I'm hoping that it ends up surprising me. At this point, I don't think it's going to surprise me to anywhere near the same level as Symphogear did. But I'm hoping it at least still ends up being pretty good. So, we'll see. I could end up being completely wrong. It might be amazing. I don't know. First episode, not always a great example of how the full series will be, but sometimes it is. So it's just kind of, like I said, I have to see more. Um, but either way, we're going to get this started and hope for the best. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and it fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. I don't get the comedy aspect of this. I don't really find this that funny. Like, there's a couple things that, like, oh, I'll get a chuckle out of it. It's like a sensible chuckle. But nothing I would really consider to be that funny. So far, out of these first 2 episodes, there's only been a single thing that I would consider to be notably funny. And again, that is the fake ending gag. Everything else, it's like, okay, there might be a slight chuckle here and there, but it's like, it's not a... It doesn't come across as a humorous comedy anime to me. Again, when I think of comedy, I do think of stuff like Nichijou. I said in my first reaction, I believe, that Nichijou is my favorite comedy anime, and in my opinion, the funniest anime, just in general. And then you come into something like this, and it's like, it's not even comparable to me. And it's like, I don't necessarily expect this to be as funny as Nichijou, but it doesn't feel like it's comedy to me. It like, I don't... It feels as much like a comedy series as something like K-On! And K-On! I would not consider a comedy. I would consider it a slice of life music anime. There's comedy in it to a degree, but it's not a comedy series. And honestly, even that I would consider to have more comedy than this. But this series supposedly is a comedy series, at least from everything I've heard. It doesn't come across that way to me. Maybe that's just me. Maybe this just isn't my kind of humor. Maybe it's just not funny to me. But it's not. It's like, I don't find it that funny. I don't. I'm not saying it's bad. I would not call this bad at all. Hell, like, there's a lot of good, positive stuff to this. And although the characters aren't, like, super memorable, they're at least likable. And while the story seems very bare bones, it's not unenjoyable. I don't think this series is bad or anything. I'm just saying I don't think it's funny. It doesn't come across like it's trying to be. So it's weird that it's like everything I've seen, everyone talking about it, has billed it as a comedy. In fact, I want to look this up real quick. Because it's confusing the shit out of me, if I'm being honest. Bocchi the Rock MAL. MAL, my anime list, is usually, like, kind of from what I've noticed to be one of the better sources for just, like, looking up on all of this stuff, so it's what I tend to use. Okay, so, there's 12 episodes, by the way. And it finished airing on Christmas, apparently. Cloverworks. Yeah, it's specifically listed as comedy, not even anything else. It's not listed as a music series or a slice of life or anything else. It's listed purely as comedy with themes of music and cute girls doing cute things. But it's listed as a comedy, and it's like, I don't get it. This isn't funny to me. I don't understand. Let me go to the comedy tag real quick. And let's see some of the other stuff that's listed in here. One Punch Man. Okay, One Punch Man I would consider comedy. It's a parody series. It's a satire. It's funny by nature because it's over the top and it's making fun of the topics of superheroes and shonen and whatnot. Yeah, Mob Psycho 100, kind of the same thing. Made by the same creators, so that fits. Assassination Classroom, sure, there's quite a bit of comedy in there. Kill la Kill is a weird choice. Like, I don't consider that comedy. It has comedy in it, but I would not consider the anime to be comedy. Kaguya-sama, from what I know of it, yes. From what I know of it, which is very little to be fair, but Soul Eater, no. Soul Eater is not comedy. Not even slightly. Devil's a Part-Timer, that's comedy. That's very much comedy. The Spy Family I would not consider comedy. Again, it has comedy in it, but I would not consider that its genre. Just because a series has comedy in it does not mean it's comedy. And that is very much expressed here by the fact that Dragon Ball Z is listed here. No one in their right mind would consider Dragon Ball Z a comedy series. Does it have comedy in it? Oh yeah, very much so. But it's not a comedy series. Neither is Samurai Champloo, which is also on here. Ouran High is. That deserves to be on here. Gintama, sure. But like, it's like, Baccano, I would not consider comedy either. I say like how my anime list is like a source I tend to trust with this stuff, and then it just proves to be untrustworthy in my opinion. Just like, it just had to prove me wrong. But yeah, it's just, again, I don't mean any harm. I'm not trying to like insult the anime or anything. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's great, but I don't think it's bad by any means. It's just, I think that it's not comedy. It doesn't come across that way. It doesn't come across like it's trying to be. Like, you watch Nichijou or One Punch Man or Assassination Classroom, and it's like, yeah, they're trying to be comedy. That's the point. They are very much clearly, like, trying to be comedic in nature as their genre. A series having comedy in it does not make it a comedy series. One Piece is not a comedy series, yet it has a shit ton of comedy. One Piece is a shonen action series. Hell, with as much politics as is in that series, I wouldn't even consider it a political drama. No, not at all. But it has a lot of political drama in it. That doesn't make it its genre, though. Putting something into a series does not mean that's what it is. And it's just like, genre and like the elements within it are not entirely connected all the time. Usually a series will have 1 to 3 genres. Honestly, if you try to give a series more than 3 genres, you're just adding stuff in. A series will only naturally, based on how it is written and expressed and everything, have up to 3 genres. And it's usually going to be more basic stuff. What I would consider this series to be would be slice of life, music, and school. Those would be the 3 genres I would attribute this to. And school, honestly, could be taken out. Because, at least in these first 2 episodes, you barely see any of the school. It's really not focused on. So actually, yeah, you could take the school out. But that would be a possible third option based on what we have seen. Comedy would not even be, like, honestly, top 6. Maybe in the top 10, but that's pushing it. Well, yeah, probably in the top 10, honestly, because there's not that many genres. A lot of people try to force in everything is a genre, and that's not how genres work. You can have subgenres like a specific type of comedy and whatnot, but it all falls under comedy. That's the single genre. It's like slapstick is not a genre. It's just a type of comedy. I'm sorry I'm ranting on this and everything, but it's like, again, this is how this series is advertised, and it just does not come across like that at all. Its writing is not trying to be funny. It clearly is not. Like, that's not the intent. It doesn't come across that way at all. Again, it just, like, there's humor in it, but that's not the intent. That's not the focus. I don't know. The biggest thing that actually happened in this episode was Bocchi taking a step in, social interaction and whatnot while working at the club. But a lot of it just was a lot of the same jokes again. I say jokes lightly because it's like, again, they didn't come across like they were trying to be jokes. But that's what some people will try to peg them as. What would be a better word? Scenarios. Let's say that. The same scenarios. It's just like, oh, Bocchi is getting involved with these other girls. She's shy. She's doing shy things. Rinse and repeat. It's like just the specific circumstance is different. But it's the same basic thing that's going on. We meet another new character with Nijika's big sister, who's also the manager of the club. And yeah, it's not too much happens again, except for that one tiny step. It's clear that the next episode might have a little more progress by introducing the singer, this red-haired girl, who we got a small glimpse at in episode 1. But I don't know how much they're going to actually do with that yet. Yeah, I feel like there's not too much to say on this episode. If there's anything you would like to hear my thoughts on specifically that I didn't mention here, you can ask me in the comments. I'll be sure to answer you if there is. But I can't really think of much of anything that I would need to discuss with this episode. Again, it was very bare bones. There just isn't much of anything to talk about. So, I guess let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And for now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.